Good afternoon, teacher and classmates. The topic that I'm going to present you is trans language. My name is Guadalupe Gomez Soto, and I'm from Language Faculty, WAP, and degree in teaching English. The subject, development of speaking and listening skills, Professor Jose Luis Carrillo Valdez. The name of the project is presentation of my research topic. I'm going to present you the outline to explain this topic. First, introduction. Second, literature review. Third, participants. At the end, conclusion. So let's move on. The introduction. First of all, it is relevant to make awareness about the usefulness of knowing and applying Spanish mother tongue for learning English, which is why this research topic focuses on the value of translation. In this slide, we can see, for example, Zenos and Goddard 2021 describe pedagogical translanguage and its application to language classes with the aim of activating students' multilingual and multimodal skills. Pedagogical translanguage play a key role in facilitating learning. Okay, let's move on for the second slide. We are going to talk about the similarities and differences between English and Spanish. So it's important to know some characteristics for our own learning, and also the teachers, um, they should apply these, these characteristics. For example, when teachers and students know the basic similarities between two languages at a grammatical level, in phonological and syntax, the same is safe as the students transfer their knowledge from Spanish literacy to English literacy. For example, all of us know that when we learn a new language, for example, our mother tongue is Spanish. So we learn through um the that we listen. For example, our context, our family, and our first words are, for example, mama, papa, and this context help us help us to know new words, and we start to talk with the speaking, and then we learn to write, and with the time we learn to do more things. It's the same way if we learn a second language. Okay, so in the next slide, we can see that there are two keywords, transfer and interpret. Okay, but we need to talk about, according to applied linguistics, at the end of the 60s, the goal was that when comparing two language, areas of similarity and difference will appear which will logically lead to errors. So these errors are transfer or interpret. The good thing it's called transfer, and the bad it's called interpret. Okay, for example, when learning a foreign language, before when the student is learning English, they tend to transfer the structures and characteristics of our native language, so Spanish. And the influence of our mother tongue in the second language is called transfer. In addition, this transfer sometimes causes errors. In this case, the negative transfer of respect is called interference. And in the next slide, we can observe the literature review. There are three important descriptions and definitions of what is translanguage. Okay, in the first tell us that defines translanguage as the ability of multilingual speakers to juggle between language, threatening the diverse language that form the reporter as an integrated system. The second one tells us translanguage is the act performed by bilinguals of accessing different linguistic features of various modes of what are described as autonomous language in order to maximize communicative potential by Ofelia Garcia in 2009. And the last one mentioned translanguage affords opportunities for the learner to make links. The pedagogical benefits of this can be significant, such as with the children described by content whose understanding of talk about time was invade when they linked the English vocabulary to words their mothers used in their home language to describe something. This is an example of I mentioned before about our context. The context is very important to learn something new, in this case language. And how learn language? It's a little bit complicated because we need to use language to learn another language. So the mother tongue is a very useful support and useful tool to learn English. And the next slide tells about participants. Um, I'm going to talk about the context and the reason that I do this research. Okay, so recently there has not been great interest on the part of students of language faculty in Puebla about the usefulness and benefits of knowing and applying Spanish mother tongue for learning English. And I would like to make awareness of all community uh, to learn first English and have a good level in our mother tongue to teach before English. Because if we don't know our mother tongue, how to pretend to teach another language? So for this reason, it's very important to know our mother tongue. And finally, I would like to bring you how I pretend to do this awareness in our faculty. So this research tries to clarify the value of Trans language for lay students to learn English, with the purpose of raising awareness among students about the usefulness of their mother tongue to learn English, with the support of teachers who work in the faculty and whose area is Spanish. Even though teachers who are interested in this project so that they can provide their knowledge to the student community, it would also be very useful to open workshops focuses on the enrichment of the mother tongue. Um, Finally, I would like to share my the finally I would like to Finally, I would like to present the bibliography and thank you so